just awesome. I think I probably did too.
That post from last week, who wants healthy snack ideas or whatever that we did?
Snack hacks. Yeah. Snacks and hacks.
Yeah.
Good. Hi, guys. Hi, Connie. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Connie and Jana, too. Yay.
You, Jana. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Darby. Darby, how was your school day?
Well, it's getting there.
Hope so.
What else can I say? I'm laying down in bed, so
Okay.
I'm be here, but I'm so glad to be here. But
Okay. Well,
That's almost everybody, because the other three, mostly I got our leaders together so they can share it with their teams. That way we could have more interaction and more talking if people have questions.
yeah, I'd much rather do interaction. I mean, you guys can watch things on trainings and stuff like that. But
And if you record it, that would be great, because I know Cindy wanted to see it. Linda's running late, and Alicia wanted to see it if you record it.
I've already got it recorded.
Oh, way to go. Okay.
I would have forgotten, for sure. Well, first of all, I want to tell you, you guys are doing awesome. You're doing phenomenal. And I think this group has a very special bond and community and culture. And you guys are solid. So, you know, this is always just to get better, you know, to tweak our stories. I was looking if I could just show you how many times I've tried to tweak my story over the years. You know, it's not going to always be perfect. And it's something that's evolving as you evolve through your journey, you know. So I see some more people are coming on. Hi, Sharon.
Good afternoon and evening and all that stuff.
Awesome. And I don't know if Joyce can talk or hear or whatever she was missing before. And hi, Sage. Great.
I have Diana's trying to get on too, but she has such struggle with Zoom. So.
Oh no.
Hi, Connie.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm finishing my supper.
Yeah.
I haven't had mine.
You guys could have made it a different time. Sorry. If you need to eat, please do. Okay. So anyway, your story is gonna probably always just evolve. And there are so many times I've been at trainings where I've just worked on tweaking my story. And even up to the point, I don't know if you guys remember that one Friday night where Dr. Mitra Ray was speaking. And I was on that one, and it was going to be on, I don't know, it was a big one. I was like, holy moly, I need to get my act together. Because my story is not necessarily memorized, but if I'm going to go on an event, I'm going to make sure that mostly I don't look like a fool, but also I want to make sure that it's helpful for others, you know? And so, hi, Stace. Yay. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, Stacy.
I know. Who did she look like?
I hardly recognize her.
Marilyn Monroe.
Like a star of some sort.
I love it.
Woo.
Yeah. She looks like somebody. Like Sharon, what is that other Sharon's name on? Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I didn't see Stacy. Where is she?
I'm here.
So if you can't see the gallery view, click gallery view. Then you can see 12 of us. Or if you can swipe your phone, then you have to swipe and see like 4 at a time. Okay?
And I turned my video off because I'm feeding my face.
That's fine. Anybody who has to eat, I know this is a bad time for you. And it's not going to be like I'm doing a PowerPoint. We're going to, you know, just talk casually, okay? So anyway, you're going to always work on your story. So when you're on an event, when we did, and not all of you got to see it, the Got Fruits and Veggies series, whenever I've called on anybody, it's always we end up talking longer than what we say. So then Doug says to me, okay, tell them you only want, I think it was 20 seconds.
Oh!
So think about narrowing your story even to 20 seconds. And that's going to get to the real meat of your story. So when I first started doing the Got Fruits and Veggies event, and you can look at the different ones on YouTube, Team Transformers, go under youtube.com and you go into Team Transformers, you'll see that sometimes I was like very good about saying, okay, just 20 seconds. And then I would be like nicer. I'd say, okay, 30 seconds if you have to, or 40 seconds. But really, having a very small amount, knowing you're going to go a little bit longer because maybe you're nervous or you don't have it memorized, because we don't want you ever to read, right? You can read bullet points, but you got to fill in the gaps. So sometimes when you go live on an event, it's going to go longer. So you always want to account for that. And then, oh gosh, there's a huge bug. And then also you want to go on your notes section on Voxer and practice, or on Zoom and practice. How many of you guys have your own Zoom? You guys have your own Zoom? All right, so you can go and get your own Zoom and go on and practice by hitting record and then watching. So what are some things about the story? I mean, there's so many things I've learned that I could just scream about the story, okay? There's just a lot. Yes, Kelly.
I've always heard it's good to think of it like your elevator speech. So if you were in an elevator with somebody and that's all the time you had, what would you say?
Hi, how are you?
Okay, what else have you guys heard about the Juice Plus story? Let's go ahead and do that. That's good. All right, I'm going to write these down. Elevator. I'm going to address these probably. Let's see. What else have you guys heard?
I thought of you because, you know,
Okay, that's like an intro.
yeah.
All right. What else?
Or I was introduced to it, right? Yeah.
First,
I was introduced to it by, and then you go into it, or, right? Sorry.
Thank you. Lolly, lolly, lolly.
Okay,
Company.
we'll get about to that, Gwen. The 3 bullet points, the 3 main sections. What else?
Yeah.
What else have you guys heard about telling your story? Sherry?
Why that makes you cry?
Okay, I think it's a really good idea to really focus on your why. Okay, so that is really good. And if it makes you almost cry, that's a very good thing, because people can feel your emotion, not as much about what you're saying, but how you feel about what you're saying. So that kind of bridges the gap on anything you might have missed. So is it important to have details? So let me make fun of myself, and maybe it will ring true for one of you guys. But let's say I'm going to tell my story and I'm going to include incidental, distracting things that are not important. Okay, so I met Stacy at a trade show booth, and I was there for Juice Plus, and I was introducing her to Juice Plus, and she had her son in the stroller, and we were there for a children's expo, and we talked about a lot of things. We talked about me speaking at MOPS. We talked about her son getting more fruits and vegetables. I hit it off with her. I was there at a trade show booth. I was giving out gummies, and she stopped by for that reason. Do you see how I could include all those things, but they're not necessary, right? So when you think about your story, you've got to get rid of all the distracting things that might make people go in different tangents, you know, in their minds. You want to stick with the actual things that are powerful, the powerful parts of your story. And it doesn't have to be long. And nowadays, I kind of shorten my story, because really it's not even about me. It's about the person I'm talking to. So it doesn't matter what my story is. It really matters more about the other person. So even like my allergies, you know, I no longer have. Do you guys have allergies? You know, does that apply to you? Probably not. So the MS that Gwen has, don't have it, doesn't apply to me. You've X'd me out, right? But do we all have the need or the want for a better immune system, right? So if we summarize some of the things, instead of getting detailed about each individual little thing, better skin, better, more energy. Who doesn't want that? Better immune system, those kinds of things, instead of, and I went from this to this, and it's like a whole list of things. I mean, that's okay, but just, I feel so much better. Like if you just put emphasis on, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Doesn't that mean something? Or I have so much more energy than I ever did. And you're getting your point across. It's just sometimes we might think, oh, I need to list all these things. I need to include all these things. You don't. It's more about your conviction, your passion. So who also finds themselves presenting or including what Juice Plus is in your story? Not important. You don't do that. That's called presenting. That's called selling. So it's more of a curiosity thing. It's more like, oh my gosh, I found a way, to get more concentrated nutrition every day, or maybe you've already said Juice Plus or whatever. And it's a way to get more concentrated nutrition every day. I love it because habits mean a lot. I don't eat that healthy all the time. So a habit every day is better. And so, just kind of, I don't even know what I just said, but I got way off on my own tangent. Okay, so I feel better now. Yes, that's what I usually say, Gwen. I feel better now. Is that you copied me, Gwen? That is exactly what I say usually.
Yes, but I say that too because I do feel that way.
It's the truth.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
Hey,
feel,
Sharon,
yes.
can I say something? The side where you were talking about not convincing or presenting Juice Plus.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I found is if in my conversations and I'm talking to people about Juice Plus and I'm sharing my story, but it ends up to where I'm like telling them all about Juice Plus, and it gets sort of in a presentation mode. And I found this with one of the new team members on our team. She doesn't really like to talk face to face, and so she's texting
I'm
a
sure
lot.
you can take her
And
out.
she sent me those text messages. I realized she's spending a ton of time coming up with the exact right verbiage, the right thing to say next, and the next right question. And it's a lot of energy. And she's spending a lot of she's like so personally enveloped and invested in each of those conversations. When they're not ordering right away, it's so hurtful to her. And she feels so much more rejection because she's put in so much time in having that perfect conversation and writing out that perfect answer and trying to convince or present to them every little thing that's about Juice Plus. And she's worn out. She's so close to QSC, and her heart is just so sad because these people she spent so much time with, and we're they're gonna come along, but you're spending a lot of time trying to convince them, where shorten it, your excitement, send them the videos, don't convince them of anything. And then they're not getting on a call with us or even watching the videos because they're deciding their yes or no based off of her presentation in text. It's a terrible plan. It's not working well.
So when we started, it was cassette tape and duct tape. So, and Tommy Bryant, I think, came on VoiceCom or whatever and said, talk less to more people. And he probably got that from somebody else. But those are two things to really remember. Talk less to more people. Because it should be a conversation, not a presentation. It shouldn't be one way. So the more you can pique curiosity and have the going back and forth, the better. So you might not even tell your story all in one chunk. That's why, I mean, if you're doing an event, like if we were on an event right now and I said, okay, it's me, then Gwen, then Sherry, then it's a chunk. It's not, hey, I got, this or that with my skin or my energy. And then Gwen goes, then we come back to me. No, it's all a story But if you're going to talk to somebody, you have to gauge, are they still nodding? Are they still listening? Or did you just go into this detailed story that they're like, shut up, basically? Okay. So the
You know,
more
people tell me that far too often.
the more details, the worse off your audience, and nobody's got time for that. Here comes Emma. So just keep that in mind. Hi. Did you want to say hi to our New Mexico
Hi.
team? Okay. Yay.
I was asking if you could go.
Oh, well, okay. So, so you want to pique curiosity, and you don't want to go into presenting. All right. So, and you also want to think about, does my audience need all these details? You know, because sometimes they don't. And, you know, your story can go in many directions. Like mine could go in the allergy direction, the energy, the pregnancy, the kid with autism, the kids, you know, not going to the doctors as much, Doug's high blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever, his weight loss, my skin, I don't know if I mentioned that already, menopause I could go into, and whether or not that's better. So think about that. I have like 10 topics. How would I ever keep my story kind of condensed? You have to think about your audience and just focus in on one thing. You have to let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
I go.
So yeah,
I
you
go.
include it all. You can't include it all unless you list it, you know, and it's got to be like you've probably memorized it. If you're able to say, I went from this, like it can't have any sentences. It's, I went from being run down, having allergies, having skin problems, not knowing how to eat right. Like it has to be a list to, I feel like an athlete, you know, whatever. You could do that if you list and you don't go on and on. List. Okay. Before and after, if you do that. And also we have to be compliant, of course. So it's less allergies, less medication, improved, you know, things like that, instead of no more allergies, no more doctor visits, stuff like that. Okay. No absolute. So you have to decide, how do you want your story? Do you want it to be super feeling? Then make sure your feelings are coming out, and just focus in on how thankful you are, maybe, you know, or why are you taking Juice Plus? I mean, that's always a good question. Randy Matthews said it best. He's very smart about the business. He's been running the company for 25 years at least. He said, if you don't know what to say about your story, say why. Why am I, that's why I created the Got Fruits and Veggies. I just said to the people who were sharing their story, I said, just focus on, why do you love Juice Plus, or why are you using it? And that's an easy story. Why? Why am I taking Juice Plus? You know, why am I sharing Juice Plus? These are the two things that I ask new people when I get on a 3-way call. I say, I want to learn a little bit more about yourself, about you, before I get into me. Tell me, you know, what made you decide to take Juice Plus? It's the same as why, right? Oh my gosh, it's Grand Central here.
Whoa.
Hi, the New Mexico
What's going
team,
on
honey.
out
They're
here?
getting to know our family tonight.
Holy mackerel.
Where did he come from?
Look at you guys.
We're having a party.
Man, we're multitasking. I just got off with Nalani's team.
Mm-hmm.
And you know my love language. I'm getting all these messages, hon. All these thank you, you're awesome messages. So
Yeah, make sure you guys send those to Doug every once in a while.
I can't.
I don't need it.
That's it for me.
That's his love language.
Look at you guys.
I
You
need
guys are
gifts.
awesome. I miss all you guys. And wish we had a conference to have fun at and take a picture afterward and all the good stuff we always do.
They're going to have a conference together.
We're going to have a conference.
Oh,
No,
that's
no,
right.
no.
It's going to be great.
Sherry Montoya is on my action game team.
Nice.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Connie.
Okay, so we're talking about stories. Do you want to add into that? What makes a good story? Or a succinct story? That's what we're really focusing on.
I think practicing. I use the You know, on Voxer, if you go over to that side thing, you can do your personal notes. So when I was practicing that, or even if I have a really important story, a message I want to share, I'll record it to myself first. So then you can time yourself. I think in the beginning, it's maybe a good discipline to say, okay, this is going to be my 30-second product story, and then keep it to that. I was even, when we talked about this a little bit before you guys had this, and I told Sharon, what if there was an exercise we did with people where we gave people either 2 sentences or like 10 seconds, whatever comes first. And you have to tell your Juice Plus story in like 10 to 15 seconds, let's say. That would get you down to like the most important thing, which makes you think, what is the most important thing? I think it's like the emotion word of, you know, whether it's thankful or like, because of Juice Plus, I'm fully engaged with my kids now because I have more energy. You know, that's a big deal. You know, that's my big deal, you know. So I think really knowing what's really important, and then as you expand it from there, there's a point where you're not really telling your story anymore. You, after about a minute and a half, you're starting to anticipate their questions, and you're really trying to you're answering their questions. So
Right. Good. See, we did not rehearse this, and he kind of almost said the same stuff I did, right?
we are one.
You are one.
Bye.
Arian.
I'm gonna go be engaged with the daughter and the dog and drive around the town listening to music.
Oh, good.
I'll see you in the morning.
Excellent.
All right, see you in the morning.
Awesome. Okay, good. So now you
I do like the idea, and that's what I started doing, is timing myself. I would have the bullet points and then go over it several times. And there are times that I do it in my Voxer, in my own little, to myself, so that I can hear what it sounds like. And of course, I critique it very heavily. It's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't sound good.
And it times you on the Voxer.
Yeah.
So you can just keep doing it. And so you want to do that on your way to an event. You want to practice your story. If you're working on your story, you want to practice it. I know I used to do events for Stacy, and I don't even know if she knows this. I'd be ironing my clothes, good to prepare. So I would actually listen. We used to have a 1-800 number with like these calls. Maitre Ray was one of them, and these 6 calls. I would listen to Maitre Ray every time I went to her event, so that I came across credible and believable, and I was confident. So you have to do things like that to come across, you know, confident and stuff. And so I would do that. I don't remember if I practiced my story or not, but I know Julie, she still practices her story. And of course hers is memorized and she's got it down pat, you know, but it's worth it, you know. There's only like certain things you really need to know, and one of them is your story. So it's important. I think when you haven't practiced, that's when you go off on, you know, on tangents. So you want to make sure it's focused so that you get your point across. And usually, like if we were doing a paper for all you teachers here, how many points would we have on a paper? What's the usual rule?
3.
3 points.
Preachers are 3, yeah.
So if you're going to talk about more than one thing, make sure it's 3, you know, 3 very succinct things, not, you know, 3 long things. So that will help keep your story down also. So, oh, did Joyce ask what is Voxer? Oh my gosh, Joyce, we need you on Voxer. Joyce is on Voxer, isn't she? All right, we're getting Joyce on Voxer tonight, right? Right?
Sorry, that's my fault. Cindy and I are trying to get together, but Joyce lives in South Fork, and so it's kind of more difficult to get her set up on Voxer.
Oh no, that's not difficult. Joyce, you have a phone. You're allowed to ignore us right now and go to the App Store and download Voxer, the walkie-talkie chat, and then we're gonna keep going after that. So go ahead and download.
When Gloria had our coffee the other day, I set up my iPad on a stopwatch on my timer, because I was just going to time myself, and I just decided that, well, I'll just time everyone. And so of all of us that talked, 2 of us talked for almost 8 minutes, but most of us talked for 5 minutes and 50 seconds. It was really interesting. And so, and I know that Gloria has said keep it down to 2 minutes, and I thought, man, I thought I had it down to 2 minutes, and so did Kelly. And then Kelly and I both talked for 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Were you
So,
talking about just your story or your story plus something?
well, we had to talk a little bit about the shakes. That's what the complete shakes and what we did with that. So that was added in. It wasn't just our story, but our story with the shakes.
Okay, so get this. One time I did a training at the Orlando Regional, and I said, you know what? We really could have a Juice Plus story separate. We could have a shake story separate. We could have a Tower Garden story separate, so that can even be a separate story, the complete. You can kind of summarize Juice Plus, but then really focus in on, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful my friend introduced me to complete. I used it as one of my simple changes in the beginning. It makes me feel satiated. I use it every day for breakfast. It's great for my kids too. I have them have it every day, and it's a way that I keep myself lean. Bam, done. That's the Juice Plus complete story for me, and I'm excited. I'm thankful that I have it, right? So you can have different stories. I can say, oh my gosh, Juice Plus has done so much for me and my immune system, my energy, and I feel so much better in my 50s than my 20s. But then I moved to the complete shake. It still is not going to take me 10 minutes or 7 or 5. It's going to take me 30 seconds or a minute. That's it. You have to learn to summarize and list. Okay?
That is really good advice, because that was really the goal, was each person would have like the Tower Garden and the complete shake, the Omega, and just to have their story more focused on what they were leading into or what they had seen, and not their whole 20-minute story. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what our focus was supposed to be. And maybe I probably didn't make that really super clear, but that what you just said is perfect, because you can just focus on the Tower Garden, saying what that has done for your health. And
so we learn a lot as leaders or people who are putting on events. We're not perfect. And so you tweak it, and I just listened to the upline guy. He's so good. You guys should be listening to that. And Wendy Campbell said to me today, because I'm in a group to move forward myself, she said, if I say something and it's like the one book that I keep talking about, I'm not going to say you should have this chapter read by this time, this chapter read by this time, because somebody said, when should we have this chapter read or whatever. If I keep saying the virtual upline guy is a guy to listen to, and you haven't done it, and you've heard me say it at least 3 times, I'm going to be like Wendy Campbell. I'm going to be a little obnoxious, right? Sherry's like, yes, he really is good. And play it.
He is good. I love him.
He's on YouTube. He's on podcasts. I don't know if he's on Facebook, but I've been able to find him there. And I didn't even know about him till 2 months ago. But I keep going back to him. So anyway, what was I saying about him? I don't remember. Because I just went on.
Good.
For that.
He's good. He's good. I don't know. It's great.
I'll come back to it.
It's
Anyway,
great. Very informative.
Great. All right. I took myself on a terrible tangent now.
No way. We're fine.
Anyway, okay. So, all right. What else about your stories? It's really not about you. So you don't need to fulfill all your needs in a story. It's really about your audience. And also, I was saying about the event. Oh, okay. I got back to what I was supposed to say. That you learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from your successes. That's what he said on the YouTube. And I'm like, brilliant, brilliant. You have to be okay with learning from your mistakes. So Gloria might start beating herself up about, well, maybe she should have been more clear on that last thing. Well, don't you think I beat myself up like every Wednesday night on the Got Fruits and Veggies because I didn't make myself clear some weeks, and it went longer on the weeks that I didn't act like a Nazi about how long everybody should be. And you always want to tell people to be shorter than what they actually can be, because you're running an event and you don't know how long yourself is going to talk about the things you have to talk about. So the actual stories have to be super short and succinct, because you want to keep it, you want to be able to share it with people and say it's about a half an hour or shorter or whatever, but you don't want it to be longer. So funny, because on the athlete event, Sandy Stetter, she's super cute, and on that event she said, all right, give me some feedback. And it was in between the 8 and the 10. What was it, 8:30 and 10? I don't remember. And we're just killing time at that point, us Eastern Coast people. She goes, what's your feedback? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so bubbly. I've never heard you so bubbly. And then she said, what else? What else? And good job, Joyce. And I said, even one of my, guys said, you Juice Plus people are just so bubbly. So that was one of my feedbacks to her, is that you were the most bubbly ever. She was in Aruba coming on the event. And then I said, the event went really long. I said, so if you can bring it in and be more concise, that would be great. She took it very personally. And it wasn't even, she asked for my feedback. I gave her some feedback. It wasn't even about her, really. It was about the whole event. You want the whole event to be shorter. So I don't know whether Sandy talked longer than she should have. She's the only one that asked me for constructive feedback, and that was all that was on my mind, is dang, we went long. And so, keep that in mind. The people who are running the event, they're just trying to run the event and do it in a way in which you guys can be proud and send it out and all that stuff. So if Gloria says, I want you to keep it to 45 seconds, that means you should practice, and she probably didn't say 45 seconds. But the other way
So
is
Sharon, what are you thinking is a good time for an event? Did you say 30 minutes, 20 minutes? What do you think is reasonable to expect people to stay engaged?
30 is really what we're going for nowadays. If you really have like another goal in mind, go for 20 if you can. If you're just going to focus on one Juice Plus product, there's no reason why it should be 30, right? So it could be 20 or 15 or whatever. We've done Tower Garden ones at 30 still, but we could have made it shorter. But we have this thing in our mind where we're like, oh, 30 minutes, let's just end it at 30, whether it's really closing well or not. We're like, let's get it done, or we try to. So I think if we even held ourselves to 20 minutes, that would be fine. But I don't think we've really challenged ourselves to do that. Does that make sense? So that's why also on the Got Fruits and Veggies event, and I also called it Why I Love My Juice Plus, I personally would have liked to get rid of the Tower Garden, maybe even the Complete out of there, maybe even the Omega, to just focus in on the trio. But I know people would have been screaming that it didn't include those other things. So I did, and that's why it was longer. It was 30, 35 minutes, sometimes 42, 45. And I'm like, So just know that the people who are doing the events are really trying to keep it down, and that we look at those things. It's always good to look at events afterwards and say, how could we do it better, and not be upset about it. Okay, what questions do you guys have? I know this is not your typical story workshop. There's a video, there's a worksheet and all that, and we can get some of those things, but what else is on your mind first?
I like what you just said about evaluating. And as soon as our event was over, I know Sherry called me, and I talked to several people, and I liked the feedback. And of course, we knew it was way too long, and we were talking about how we needed to really cut back. And you've given us some good tips tonight. I really appreciate it.
Cool.
Sharon, I had my talk completely typed out, and I had worked on it. And Kelly and I had conversated before what we were going to say, kind of tied ours together. And once I did the talk and I looked back at what I had written down, I could have scratched out so much of that stuff.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So the perfect thing for you to do is to type out your story, And then even before you would send it to your sponsor, figure out the insignificant items. Scratch them out.
Mhm.
Go for the powerful, succinct sentences, and then send it to your sponsor and leader if you want, if they're not the same. And then, get some feedback and make sure there's some feeling words in there, like I was exhausted, I'm thankful, it means a lot to me, whatever. And even vision for the future. Vision is something that Wendy Campbell says that we're not doing great at. And so, like with your business story, if you can give vision for where you're going, whatever amount of vision you can give, that's a good thing, And it's always important to get your new team member with your NMD. She says it's very important so that we can give vision. And so it's just, as you're progressing, you're just going to be able to give more vision because you've gone through the compensation plan, you've been through all the no's and all the things. Another thing I've liked to say lately, and maybe it's in my business story, I don't know. But when I talk about Juice Plus, and you can throw it in there sometimes, is I've helped thousands of people get healthier. I think that's true, right? So if you feel like you've helped hundreds or thousands or whatever, I mean, yeah, Gwen, who knows how many you've helped by going live all the time. So
Well, if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have helped me,
that's right. Right.
right? Or any one of us.
Right. I mean, if you count team and customers, I've
Yeah.
helped thousands. I mean, for sure, thousands of people. We have at least 800 something people on our team. And then they all have customers, so because I said yes, but I don't say all that. I just say I've helped thousands of people. So it's a summary statement, but hopefully you can hear how I'm proud or excited or whatever about it, And so I think those are some good things. But what Gwen was trying to say before is there's 3 main points. And I think you could even get rid of the first one. Okay. First one is like how you were introduced to Juice Plus. Now, they used to say the reason why you would do the how or who shared Juice Plus with you. And it doesn't mean a long story. Like I met Stacy at the trade show and we blah, blah, blah. I didn't know Stacy for Jack. No, who cares? I heard about Juice Plus from a friend, or I heard about Juice Plus from a person who's all about health, or you summarize everything with your story. Summarize. I first heard about Juice Plus when I was tired and run down. I don't know, but it can't be long. And then second part is, why did it make sense? That's what you have to ask yourself. Why did this make sense to me? Why did I get started on Juice Plus? I knew I wasn't eating healthy. I knew I needed lots of fruits and vegetables. This is like, oh my gosh, simple solution. And then I'm so thankful, like some kind of feeling. And then, now I feel so much better in my 50s than my 20s. I don't need to say anything about my allergies, my skin, my kids, my pregnancy, my doctor visits. Really don't. Does that help?
Yes,
Keep it simple.
really good.
Okay, so who wants to take a stab at like a very quick story? And I mean like quick. Gloria, I think you could do it.
I
Sure.
can do it real quick.
All right.
You want 20
I
seconds?
don't want a long story.
Huh?
I don't want a long story. I want just you think of those 3 sentences. And that's it.
Hey, can I butt in for a moment?
Who's that? Connie, yes.
This is Connie. One of the things I struggle with, I totally get that we need to shorten stories, and I'm the worst at that because I do all the details. But I also start to hear within the stories, if they're really short, it sounds very much canned. And I want to hear about your allergies. Somebody needs to hear that. I want to hear, so maybe there's different levels of stories, but I don't think it should be just so succinct and cut back. I think it becomes less, for me, it feels disingenuous. It feels like what everybody else constantly hears for whatever other product they have out there. So.
Okay, well, I think if you focus in on the shorter, you're still going to go a little longer, most likely.
Right.
So yeah.
And I know what you're saying. When we say heard about it from. It made sense to me because, and since I started, and that's what we started with 13 years ago, just as an outline. But, quick story would be, I was so excited to hear that fruits and vegetables could be put into capsules, and it helped me to get off of all of the medications that I was taking. And that was exciting to me.
Okay, that was very short. But it also can tantalize further conversation. It depends. I understand what you're saying, Connie.
Yes.
And you want to have your story written out and outlined, but also get rid of whatever incidental things you can get rid of. And then that will be the bulk of your story. But you want to know, like, if you have extra time and you can be one-on-one with somebody and share your story and they're listening and attentive, that's great. But you don't want to present. And if they want more information about my allergies, maybe they'll ask me, so it's a little more about piquing curiosity, but I understand what you're saying. You can, it's just also when you're doing an event, you have to be timely.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get that, Sharon.
Yeah.
Thought
It
that was
depends on
another
where you
element
are
too.
too. Like if you're in the grocery store line, that would be something I would say, to somebody that's getting, their produce or getting whatever they are. I'd say, wow, that looks really interesting what you're getting. Have you ever heard of a way to get fruits and vegetables in a capsule? It's even simpler. And
then go into your story. I heard
about that for me, and if I had time, I would go ahead and say it's just helped me so much with my energy and my immune system health issues.
So Sharon, can you ever be a little funny? Does it always have to be real serious?
Doug likes to say, if you're trying to be funny, you're not funny.
Say it again. I didn't hear it. Say it again.
Doug, me, okay, because I've got my own personal coach with me 24 hours a day. If you're trying to be funny, you're probably not funny. So, and that's not against you. I haven't heard your spiel or whatever, but don't try to be funny. If you are funny, then you're funny. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to write it into your story necessarily.
Sharon, just with all the regulations, can Gloria say, she said it helped her get off of all of her medications. Can we say that?
No,
You're right.
No,
I don't think so. You have no proof.
right. No, I can say I have. That's a good
have.
point, and I know that. Yeah.
I would
Could
also
you
like
say
Gloria,
it helped her
slow
reduce?
down a little to make sure it impacts, like go for impact, sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
Yeah.
Can she say it greatly, because of the choices she started making, I don't know, somehow that it greatly reduced the number of medications that she was on? Can you say reduce versus get off of all?
Sometimes I like to say I used to be on all these medications, that way they have to infer that you're no longer on all those medications.
That's a better
Then
way.
you could just at the end say, oh my gosh, I'm so much healthier now. They don't know whether you're on all those medications anymore, but also the way to cover yourself, if you're working on that, is you can say and other lifestyle, and I've made other changes along the way, so that it's picture a snowball or a catalyst effect or simple changes effect, that way you can say my MS is so much better. Juice Plus was the catalyst, and it made me make more changes. It made me crave more fruits and vegetables, and then it made me have more energy, so that then I went to the gym and da-da-da-da. It's exactly what Jay Martin says in one of our videos. It's a catalyst. So you could say that in a way in which it's not so concrete, and it's all about, this was the instigator of all these changes.
Yeah, I like to say that one simple change line. It was one simple change that I made to help improve my health.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those of us that have been telling our story for a lot of years, like a lot of you guys have been with us with Juice Plus, it was never a big deal before to say I was able to get off on all of my medications. Like those things come out of my mouth I don't even think about it because I practiced those a long time ago to say it right. And then it's just in there. And there's times I say it and it's like, I can't catch it and bring it back because it's what we practiced for years. And yeah, it's for me, it's keeping it short. Know
if
that.
you say it, then you kind of cover it afterwards. You say, I've also made some other changes, you know.
Right.
If you say it and it's out there, then you make up for it after you said it.
Yeah, recover with the lots of other changes.
Mm-hmm.
Or the catalyst to make other changes.
Okay, and then the why that makes you cry. So Sherry, so why are you taking Juice Plus? Can't hear you.
Again, I'm gonna have to lean in. I'm sorry, you guys I have to get so close. My computer audio is messed up.
Oh.
I take Juice Plus because my mother and aunt both passed away at 48 years of age. And I turned 40 and was in a deep depression and heard about how fruits, vegetables, and lifestyle changes could impact and influence genetic markers, turn them on or off. And I have been on it and had my family on it ever since.
Yay!
How long was that?
Probably
Not long,
too
right?
long.
Huh?
Said probably too long.
No, and I felt the feeling in the beginning, but not in the end. So you could carry the feeling all the way through if you want. And it's impactful. And did she need to add anything more? No.
You could say she's so much more confident now, or I have so much more peace of mind. Maybe like knowing I have found an easy solution.
Right. Now you have peace of mind. Also, you could throw in there, my mission is to make sure I'm not, one of those statistics or falling into that same pattern. And I'm out there helping other people learn about the same thing. That way it's showing that you know where you're going and you're on a mission.
She's on a mission to bring that hope to others around her, to share that hope.
That they can take control of their health too, that they're not, a victim. Okay, great. Okay, who wants to share some bullet points of their story? Nobody. They're afraid of me now. Am I Wendy Campbell?
No, but you just have to think of, you have to think what you want to say before you say it. So my mind is going 90 miles an hour, but I'm not ready to talk yet.
Okay, Darby, let me ask you something.
Okay.
I mean, you just said you're not ready. I'm sorry. Okay, so what is the most significant thing in one sentence that you can attribute to Juice Plus being the catalyst for?
Well, what I learned is that when your gut is healthy, then your mind is healthy. And because I had started eating 30 fruits and vegetables, it caused my gut to be more situated, and that my mind was happier, and I was able to forgive a lot of people that did things to me in my lifetime.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that was definitely succinct. I'm not sure everybody knows about the gut mood connection. So I think people, you got to just think about, a lot about that, but not everybody does. So you could just say something like, and I don't know if it helped you with brain fog. People love those words.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it helped you with brain fog, with mood. You know what I mean? Like you feel better about yourself, so then you feel better about other people. I don't know. But you could just make it more in layman's terms, is what I'm thinking, because not everybody knows about the gut. We do, but not everybody knows that, so it would be good.
Y'all are making, this is Sharon, y'all are making me feel so much better because ever since I ran into Gloria and Cindy there is a gnat that's driving me crazy. And, oh, I got him. Look.
Good job.
I've been swatting. I hope somebody didn't call the, people to come get me, but I've been swatting him. When I met them at the, what was it, Gloria? The health fair over at the college, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I was doing the Alzheimer's booth, and I hadn't seen them since I'd been back from Colorado. She told me what they were doing in Juice Plus and stuff. And for years, I thought, I didn't know all that stuff, and I don't have a great big story, except Gloria mentioned that we need fruits and vegetables to be healthy, and I don't eat and can't eat because of my belly situation a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, and I still have trouble with it. So I immediately went to that. Plus I've had mom and dad, uncle and aunt and grandpas on both sides of the family die of cancer. So cancer is the big thing in my family. And so I immediately said, well, cancer prevention, that's the best I can do right there, is that. So that was my, and everybody else was saying, well, it helped me do this and it helped me do that. And I'm going, well, it didn't me, It helps my arthritis. It helps all of my allergies. Well, I'm not on arthritis medicine, but I still struggle with arthritis. So it's a big gamut. And I think I told Gloria, I don't know how to cut a story down because I don't have a huge story to tell, except the peace of the mind about cancer. And I know it goes further than that, but I kept trying to say, okay, I can't say it helped my arthritis because it hasn't, basically. Well, I am off of course, I can't move my fingers in the morning, but that's a different story. So y'all are making me feel better because I have one or two things I can sing praises about, because I will probably never get off of Juice Plus because I believe in taking the fruits and vegetables. And yes, I still have stomach problems, but it's under control, well, for a while. So y'all are making me feel better because I don't have all these things that I can say like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying?
Most people's stories come down to the reason they're taking Juice Plus is to get more fruits and vegetables.
That's right.
That's the commonality.
Fortify myself the best I can.
Right.
To not contact cancer. Who knows whether I'm going to get, I still may. We've had precious friends, right, girls, that have died on Juice Plus. So that's going to happen. That's in God's hands. But I am taking Juice Plus to do what I can to prevent myself from getting cancer.
Great.
So y'all made me feel better.
That was powerful and passionate. So now you just want to put it in order. And I was thinking when you first started talking, you could say, I knew the value of fruits and vegetables. I had this person with cancer, and it was way too close to me, you know, and I couldn't eat fruits and vegetables. So thank goodness someone told me about powdered produce, which was juiced already and pre-digested and in capsule or chewable form or whatever you want to say. You don't have to say all that. And I wanted to eat more fruits and vegetables to fortify myself. I don't want to end up, you know, like everybody else. I want to do the most I can, blah, blah, blah. But not blah, blah, blah. Keep it short. Anyway.
Blah, blah, blah.
But
Gloria, that's the truth, isn't it? I told you that's why I wanted it.
And I've always said I don't have a huge story either. Like Sherry, you know, has this with cancer in her family, and Gwen has MS. So my whole thing is that I found something that could give me enough fruits and vegetables, because I thought I was eating enough, instead of the vitamins and supplements that I was taking. And that's really the main reason for me. I don't have any huge story that, you know, it cured all this stuff. I have more energy. That is a huge thing. And I have less immune system disorders every year, like, you know, the just strep throat, bronchitis, laryngitis. Y'all have heard me say that before.
my immune system is so much stronger. So I don't have to go.
Stacey, I see that hand, honey. Come on down to the front.
Stacey, you have a hand up.
Is Stacey trying to say something?
Yeah, she's going.
No, I think I was swatting a fly. Don't send them to come get me. I was going to say that, you know, if we add anything in our stories, and I mean, you guys have heard me go off on tangents, like I'm speaking to myself. If I say something like, I met this lady at a trade show when I lived in South Florida. I said South Florida, and they're like, "Oh, I would love to go to Florida." Like, if you say anything that can take their brain away,
Yeah.
even a little bit,
For interrupting you.
lose
Where
their focus. Yeah, in South Florida. Oh, I went. My dad grew up there. What town were you in? And now we're talking about something totally different. Same thing with our business story. If we say, like, if somebody asks me, "What do you do?" and I say, "Well, I'm a mom of 3." If I start out with, "I'm a mom of 3," it's going to go, and I serve in ministry, women's ministry at my church. Like, I'm taking them in a direction in conversation. So if I want it to go to Juice Plus, I say I'm a health and wellness coach. I help families simplify their nutrition. I'm trying to take it in that direction. So think of your stories the same way. So like Darby, when you said, that you had really rough things that happened to you when you were a child, that easily takes them to when they were a child and they had something rough, or it's just a heavy part of the story for them to hold. And sometimes it's going to take it in that direction. And if that's why you're having the conversation with them, obviously you want to be open and real, and you can take it in that direction. But we have to be careful. The words that we're saying are going to point them in the direction where we want to go. So if you say, you can handle things better in life, they're thinking, there's things in my life I'd like to be able to handle better, without going to a place of pain for you, or even taking them to a place of pain that they may not want to go to. So I may, in my story, inadvertently take someone on a vacation that they can't go to, and now they're irritated. They can't even go to Florida. Like, I'm not talking to her because I can't go to Florida.
So saying something like, my principal has said to me, "You're the oldest one on campus. You have more energy than anyone on this entire campus, and you're never sick. What are you doing?" That's kind of like a testimony coming from
There
someone.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
People around me notice that I have more energy than people younger than me. I can outwork them because my brain is more clear than it was before. I'm just excited about life. I'm on this amazing mission to help as many people as I can restore their health through nutrition. So yeah, those types of things, and like hearing it from somebody else, you could say that too. But if you say, my principal said, it can take them into, oh, she's a teacher. I wonder where she teaches. What grade does she teach? And now we're off on, I wish I was in 3rd grade again. I love my 3rd grade teacher. She was just fabulous. And you're like, bring it back to the fruits and veggies. And so
You're talking about me, Stacy. That's not.
Oh, Miss Sharon, we're talking about ourselves. It's so easy that you think it just kind of makes it personable. But for me, I find it can take it in a direction like, I didn't even want it to go that way. Why are we talking about this? So
Those are good points. Thank you.
So it's good to work on your story. I don't know how many times I've had help on my story. There's nothing to be ashamed of. To get help with your story, Julie's worked on my story, and I agree, Connie, it makes it a little more generic. But you should have a longer, like a 1-minute story and a 30-second story, or a 1 to 2 sentence story, So
I think it's about like when you put in your rocks. We've done that example of the big rocks and then the next rocks, and then you can get so much more, full in your day, but you have to start with the big rocks. Okay. That's what I'm gathering from this. Make sure you do your big rocks first, know that really well, and then where time permits, put in the next size, and then even more the next size, depending on who has, the inclination to want to hear more of that. Because, I really do love hearing the details of people's stories. There's so much more to that for me, so much more fullness, and I don't know what else I could say to it, but but I think that's what it is. I know I still struggle with, I want to be able to tell a quick story. And so this has been really helpful for me to just think big rocks and then go from there. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but
Yeah, there's your bullet points, meat that you want to make sure you get across, you know, and it can't be like something that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. You want your story to apply to who you're talking to.
That's how I do my story. Gloria asks me to do my story, and I do it whatever she wants me to do it for.
It's true.
She'll ask me to do an immune health story, and I do an immune health story. She asks me to focus on my kid, and I focus on my kid.
And
That's what I do.
athletes and all of that. You've been really good at targeting whatever it is that we're trying to talk about in that particular coffee chat or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. And Gloria would even talk about how she's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
She forgot that in her story. I mean, that means a lot to me that she feels so good. Maybe you don't feel as good now with your surgeries, but that she felt so good that she challenged herself and she became the pickleball queen or whatever it is that you.
I'm definitely going to say that.
No, you don't say that. But more youthful, you know, isn't it important to feel more youthful?
Yeah, it is. I like that. Yeah, that I was able to play pickleball and even compete in the senior Olympics. That would be a fun.
I mean, who
sure.
wouldn't
She won.
Right.
And second place.
Right. Not only played in it, I won.
Yeah.
It's the end of the story.
It's hard to brag about yourself, I think, you know. That's probably the hard thing, but yeah. Gwen.
Plus fuel.
I'm still an athlete.
That's right. What do you do?
I came into the garage tonight and fell flat on my face. So there you go.
And you got back up. That's
I got back up. And I don't think I have a bruise yet.
So I'm going to put a timeline on this, guys, because otherwise you won't work on it.
That's right. I got to go myself. I got to go.
So today's Tuesday. How long do you need to type up your story? Maybe it's good if you do it even tonight since you guys are 2 hours earlier. It doesn't have to be perfect. Type up your story, print it, slash it, retype it, send it to your leader. How long would that take?
Oh, about.
Is it worth it? It's your business, right?
And this is great training for them as NMDs, because when you make NMD, you have to turn in your story, and then it's like 4 pages, and they slash it and send it back, and slash it and send it back. Yeah. And it's supposed to be 4 minutes. Your whole business career in 4 minutes. It's like almost impossible, but they shorten it way, way, way down because they know we're going to go over, and because it is really hard, but they will slash and cross things out and write something else, and like,
and they'll
really
pause for effect. Like, I want to see Gloria pausing. She kind of, I know she probably felt like she needed to, but she had enough time because she made her story super short. Yeah. She needs to pause, and that you could pause for impact. I'm not a real drama freak, so I don't know enough about that, but you know, the more drama you make your story, but succinct, it's gonna make a difference. That's what Julie does. That's what Leanne Gordon does. You know, you hear those people, and they're like very good at the drama part. And I hate to call it that, but whatever you want to call it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, well, we didn't even get to the business story. Product story leading into the business. Gwen can have it by tomorrow. I mean, Gwen must take 20 Juice Plus a day. Gwen is
I do take a lot.
I mean, if she's not the poster child for healthy eating and infusing concentrated nutrients all day long, and having the energy, because she gets up at 6 a.m. and blitzes with us, and then she never says no to anything. You know,
it's got to help my business somewhere along the way, right?
Each his own.
That's the idea.
Okay, so Gwen can have it by tomorrow.
I gotta go.
Pick a day sometime this week and have it to Gloria so that this wasn't for naught. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Bye,
Thank you for all your information.
I hope
Love you all.
Yeah, thanks for staying up late. with us.
you.
Thank you,
Stacy
Sharon.
Joyce says,
you,
hi,
Sharon.
Sharon.
and
Thank
wait, I want to say
you.
congratulations to Joyce for making qualifying sales coordinator.
Hey, Joyce.
Woo-hoo. Yes,
Joyce,
Joyce.
and she's on Voxer. I've already sent you 3 messages, Joyce. Let's go.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Stacy Joy says hello.
Where's she at?
My house.
What?
Oh, wow. I was just recommending her gut health, Healthy Revolution story to someone.
That's
She's
awesome.
heading to Turner's house tomorrow.
Oh, cool. That's so awesome.
Good. Awesome, awesome. Well, tell her I said hi. We had a good time in Key West.
I will. I'll tell her.
All right. Jana is, who's Joyce's sponsor?
Me.
Congratulations to you too, Jana.
Thank you.
Good job, Jana.
Quite a feet.
Yeah, you guys fought through some hurdles for that one. Good job.
And Jana, you do not need to go to somebody's house to put them on Boxer. Okay.
That does sound like Wendy Campbell. That was a little bit of Wendy right there, and she got things done.
I need to ask a question. I mean,
I'm here. I'm not.
Cindy keeps saying to me, we'll get together and do a Zoom and get Joyce on Voxer and add her to, I've added her to all the Facebook groups. I mean, I've invited her and she's on all the Facebook groups, but I personally don't know how to include someone in a chat, like the Team Take Action chat, the Wild, the Wild West Warriors. I don't know how to add people to chats. I don't
Boxer.
in Voxer.
Okay, I can add her to Team Take Action right now.
I can add her to Wildly Healthy, our Wild West Warriors group right now.
And then we have Team Courageous and
Well, I don't know. Okay, so for a new person, let me just tell you this, and you guys can tell me if you agree. First of all, one-on-one chat. Then you move them to one other chat, maybe 2 if they don't overlap. But I wouldn't put her in 3 different chats.
Right.
Right
So that's a good point. And sometimes they're overwhelmed when they're in a group that has a lot of messages. So Stacy, what do you recommend? Our local group here or in Team Take Action, which there's a lot more information?
You could probably just put her in your local, well, I don't know, because she doesn't need to know about the local events that you guys are doing.
That's right. So
I would just put her in the Team Take Action, and then she's just hearing the business stuff. But maybe it's not even time to put Joyce in there. Like, wait till she gets used to answering us, and Voxer can take away from activity, and we don't want that. It's just supposed to enhance, and when people are looking for information and want to be fed, that's an easy way to get it out to the masses. But it's not where we coach and guide and next step think. That's going to be in that Voxer chat. And it's real easy to add someone. You're just looking for that wheel in the upper right hand corner on your phone. If you tap that, it says members. And then if you tap members, then it says add member. And then you would type in her name.
You have to go into the chat and then you can see the wheel. Let me see.
I see. Okay.
See the little wheel?
I see it. I didn't know how to do that. What I've been doing is just copying and pasting various Zooms that I thought she ought to be on and events and things like that. And I just text them to her. I just copy and paste and just send her all the information.
Do you want more Wendy Campbell right now? So,
Yes.
you're prejudging what she wants. That's fine for a little while. Joyce has shown us that she is in the game. Joyce has got to QSC. She's been talked about. I haven't even met her. I know who she is. If she's at that point, she is in the game. She's been on Lunch and Learns, all this stuff. So she could handle Team Take Action right now and a one-on-one. So the thing is it takes you extra time, Jana, to say, oh, let me think of Joyce. Okay, Joyce likes, what does Joyce like? Oh,
I
well,
send
maybe she
everything.
would like the pregnancy thing, but she wouldn't like the beauty thing. Maybe she'd like the fitness thing, but she wouldn't like the school thing. I mean, you don't have time.
I do not do that. I send her everything that comes through and let her
It
decide.
takes longer because
I
you
know.
have to do that. So Joyce can handle it. And so you want to first get her on Boxer one-on-one so she knows how to talk back and forth, turn off notifications like Gwen said, but then you move her to where she can take in all the stuff and learn how to manage Boxer by hitting read all and use it as a memory jogger so she doesn't get overwhelmed. Joyce, we're just talking all about you. I know you're here, and I apologize. We're using you as an example. I still haven't met you, and I can't see your screen. I can't hear your voice. So one day, and she's already answered me on Boxer. She knows how to answer on Boxer already, girls. The other thing I do when it's a new person on Boxer is I tell them do press to talk instead of, wait, what is it? Not
Tap to talk.
Yeah, tap to talk instead of hold to talk. That's one of the things. Turn it off, so that it doesn't get overwhelming or interfere with your life. And tap to talk instead of trying to hold it down. Oh, I don't know how this works.
Well, you know what? I'm really glad to hear all this because I didn't know any of this stuff that you're telling me. I'm just sort of
Go to your wheel, that wheel,
Mhm.
and change it to tap to talk instead of whatever.
do that right.
I'm starting to get some itis. That's the
Thank
thing.
you, Joyce.
Yeah, but
Welcome to Zoom. I love Joyce. I love hearing about Joyce going to the park and talking to people and making her own way. She's fulfilling the mission. She's doing it her way. She's awesome. I just love Joyce and I don't even know her. Okay, so let's see. Where is that? What we were just talking about?
Hey, there it is. I got tap to talk turned on.
That's what I was trying to forgot.
But I think that Jana's done a good job. Like when you have a new person, I spoon feed them a lot personally. But if you have it in Boxer, it's easy to transfer that over to them by forwarding it by that little gray arrow. Push that and then it forwards it. You can forward that on. But like you want to kind of spoon feed them at the beginning. Once they're established and good and like ready for it, and that's usually a QSC, then I put them into the bigger group. But if you've never had them on Voxer, they've never gotten used to it, you haven't like trained them like this is where we communicate, then they don't know to go into those chats and see what's in there, and you've lost kind of the significance of it. But Voxer can really save you a lot of time. And
I'm glad you brought up Jana and Joyce bringing up Jana. Truly, Jana has been amazing with helping and guiding me along the way. So grateful for all of this help and information. I agree, Jana, you've done an amazing job. Anyone who helps somebody get USC, that's hard work. That's why the company gives you a bonus also. The company says, I'm going to give $300 to Joyce. I'm going to give $300 to Jana because I want them to buddy up. And then they give you a free conference ticket, Joyce, worth $150. So that's $750 they're investing in you, working together to get there because they know how important it is. And so you've died on the side of the road, we call it, Jana. And that's phenomenal. Everybody wants a QSC. So Joyce, trust me, she wants you to be a QSC and she's happy that you are. And so are we. So,
Yes.
And I did get that confirmed from Terry Self today. So
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. I've been checking the email, my text, Boxer all day long. Yes.
it came through late this afternoon. So
that's why I said it. Sorry, Stace. I didn't know whether you said it or not.
yeah, that's good. And she said, who gets the bonus, the sponsor bonus? And I was like, Jana.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you all for your help. Thank you.
Good job. All right. Well, I know I've talked your ear off now. You guys.
Took a ton of notes. Thank you.
That's funny. All right. Linda, I'll stay on with you.
Yeah, me too. Notes. All of our notes.
Good. Good stuff.
Bye,
girls.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya. Oh, goodness, Sharon, you do not have to stay on with me. You're such a sweetie. You don't have to do that.
Well, let me turn off the recording. Hold on.